Hi, and welcome to New England Wildlife Center's blog. We're sitting out on our nature trail today. It's late November, and we're beginning to see the signs of the oncoming winter. We are definitely late autumn, and there's a number of features of the landscape that begin to really appear at this time of year. You know, you have these dog days of summer, which are usually late fall. And once you get through those and the temperature starts hovering and hanging in the 30s and lower at nighttime, there's a number of changes that take place. We're sitting right next to our vernal pond, and this is the Andrea Harris vernal pond. And this vernal pond has a fair amount of water in it. And we've just gone through a number of storms with a fair amount of precipitation. But if we had received all of that precipitation in the middle of the summer, this pond would still be empty. I mean, one of the definitions of a vernal pond is that it does not hold water all year round. And the time that it does not hold water is back in July and August and September. It's usually dry. And that's because the plants, the trees, the understory, the ground cover plants, all this biomass is using water for the process of sugar production, or the process that we refer to as photosynthesis. And the roots of all these plants draw that water right out of the pond. This time of year, there's no draw because there are no leaves on the trees. All the deciduous leaves have dropped. They have dropped to the ground. And the reason they have dropped is because they are the organs. They are the organs of those plants that when they shine in the sunlight or when they sit in the sunlight, there is an evaporation of water across that leaf. And that evaporation of water pulls the water right up out of the ground, out through the roots. And why? There needs to be a fresh water supply for the photosynthetic process. One of the ingredients in photosynthesis is H2O to make the sugar, which creates the food that the plants have. So this time of year, these plants want all of their water to drop out of their trees and back underneath the soil. And so they drop their leaves off. When the leaves come off, the water then sinks, gravity pulls it back down into the underground roots. Underneath the ground, you're out of the freezing zone. And why is this all so important? Because when water freezes, it expands 9% on volume. And if there's water inside of a cell, that cell will expand 9%. And on some of the brittle walls, especially of plants, some of the brittle walls of the cell membranes, they will just burst apart and it will kill the plant. So the character of the woodland changes because of this freezing phenomenon of expansion when water expands, and it changes the character of the landscape itself, in that the water will now hang in this pond probably throughout the fall and winter. It probably will freeze. It will become a small pond that will provide water to the local deer, to the local raccoons, even to the gray squirrels and some of the songbirds and whatnot. It becomes a water source. And if we walk and look at the ground here, we find a lot of animal dung, including the little deer pellets, which means in the evening time, at nighttime, they're coming down here to feed and to eat. So that's in part why the character of the landscape changes. The leaves drop off, the water drops down below freezing level in the ground again, and in the springtime, when the sun comes out and it's out all year long, but when it comes out more directly and warmly, it will cause the buds to burst, and that whole process of drawing the fluid, the water, up out of the roots again will take place and help the leaves make more sugar. That's great. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you the next time.